Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and more. Follow Elliot in the Morning everywhere social at EITM Online.
Hi, Elliot. How you doing?
Chris Martin, I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm happy to speak to you.
Today a press day, or are we just like in the middle of just getting a bunch of crap done?
Getting a bunch of what?
I'm sorry, getting a bunch of crap done. That's English for just getting a bunch of stuff done.
Yeah. No, it's I'm doing some interviews, and then I'm going to go to work.
Very good. All right, so listen,
Yeah.
I know I don't have a ton of time with you, obviously. I can tell you this: I have seen pictures, I have seen video out of the tour, and in what I would say is very typical Coldplay fashion. Dude, everything looks fantastic.
Thank you so much for saying that.
And I've always said this, for anybody that has never been to a Coldplay show, it is such an unbelievable experience. The energy is great, the show is great. Obviously, the music is great, but it is an unbelievable experience when you guys finally get on the road and start playing.
Well, I don't really know how to comment on that except to say thank you so much, and we really love it. And it's really powered by people that come to the show, so that's really just testament to our audience.
Hey, can I ask you something? You mentioned it's powered by people who come to your show, and I know that one of the reasons that it took a while for Coldplay to get kind of back out on the road in full force again was, and I feel like I've heard the other guys in the band almost go like, "Oh yeah, Chris just kind of said it, and then we had to do it." Not that you didn't mean it, but that it was going to be a very kind of eco-friendly and find new ways of going on tour and finding new ways to kind of not leave as big a footprint on the way. And that at first it was like, oh, thanks, Chris. And then it was time to really get down to work and figure it out. And I was reading about some of the initiatives. It sounds like some of the stuff is obviously interactive with fans, but it sounds like it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I have to say it's been super fun. And once we said that thing about wanting to tour in a cleaner way, loads of people reached out who had invented cool stuff, like you said, like bits of the floor where you can jump up and down and create power, or bicycles that you can pedal during the show, and batteries that run on biofuel, and all of this cool stuff that we just basically said, okay, we'll take it on tour. And that's what we're doing. And it's been very fun and shows where it could get to as well.
Hey, and you know the other thing I like is that I saw the bikes. I didn't understand the bikes thing at first when I read about it, Chris. And also the floor thing, I really didn't understand either. I'm not the smartest person in the world. But then like when you see it in action, first of all, fans are going crazy for the opportunity, whether it's to pedal the bike or whether it's to get on the floor and dance around. And again, I don't understand all that stuff, but if it's working and if it is really generating the energy for the show, whoever brought you that idea, that's pretty freaking smart.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. And, well, maybe if you're free, you should come down and just try it. It's not very difficult.
Can I request the bike and not the dance, really, please?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, yeah good. Because the last thing I want is for you to look out from the stage and go, oh, boy. You know what?
Come on, man.
I'd rather waste energy than to watch this schmuck dance in front of me all day.
No way. I mean, my dad does the bike sometimes, and he's 81, so you'll be fine.
Wow.
Okay, well, I see how this is going, Martin.
That must have been an amazing thing to see, though, like the first night of the tour, to see that where you were probably like, okay, well, we kind of know how this is going to play out, but to actually see it in action?
Yes, it's really wonderful. You know, we've been locked up with COVID too for 2 years, and so we're just so psyched to see people in general, and on top of that, to feel like there's an interactivity between the band and the audience in terms of the power of the show, and it just feels very warm for us to be around people.
And just to kind of wrap one other thing up about the kind of the project behind the tour, if you will, is I know that I saw an interview that you did, Chris, where you were talking about how like some people will go after you and go like, oh, well, they're still doing, whatever it is, and try to point a finger at you and go, you know what, it's all hyperbole. He was just running his mouth to try to look good and be holier than thou. And I feel like you were the first one to go, hey, listen, we're not going to get it 100% right. You want to beat me up, but at least we're trying, and at least we're getting somewhere doing it.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I think, one of the dilemmas of our age is that, as in the time we live in, is that if you do anything, someone's going to be unhappy with you, whether it's on Twitter or a blog or whatever it is. And so I think we felt like, well, as long as we're doing our best, we just have to accept that we will take some crap, and it's the same with our music, the same exact thing. And also, there are always ways you can improve, and there are always ways we can tour better and cleaner and greener. And so sometimes that input comes from your fans, and sometimes it comes from your critics. So you sort of have to just take the rough with the smooth, I think, to survive as a human. Not everyone's going to approve of everything you do, and that's part of being human.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you this. When you guys were when you sat down, you were like, all right, let's figure out the Music of the Spheres tour. Who was it that said, let's get her to be on the bill with us?
Well, I don't know how that happened, other than it's a miracle, and we're so thrilled because she's way more talented than us. And so it's a real privilege. It's a real privilege to watch someone that good. She's so good at music, as obvious as that sounds, but there aren't many people who can do what she can do. And that suggestion, I remember when someone said, "Oh, her would do it," and I said, I couldn't believe that she'd want to tour. So I texted her to say, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And she said, "Yep." And so it's been wonderful, and I've got nothing but the highest of praise for her.
Yeah, no, I love her. I think, like you said, I think she's fantastic. But I was just going to say it's obviously a credit to you guys. And I don't know, Chris, I don't know the type of guy you are, but like like away from everything where you're just sitting around, the house or whatever it is. But at some point, it's got to be nice to go, you know what? If there's somebody like her and we want her to go on the road with us, it happens. If there's somebody like BTS and we want to do a song and we work with them, and it happens.
Well, that's true. I mean, and it's never to be taken for granted. I think that, like most people who do my job, I probably am a mixture of extreme confidence and extreme insecurity, which is probably what keeps you going in a strange way, that kind of tension between those two feelings. And so whenever we're wanting to do something with someone else, I always feel like, well, they might say no, so let's try and make it extra good, basically. So it's a strange mixture of feelings that I have about those kind of things. And I just don't take it for granted, especially not now.
I don't know that you'll tell me, but who's the last person you reached out to collaborate with, whether it was live or on a record, and they said, you know what, Chris, I think I'll pass?
David Bowie.
Oh, seriously?
Wow.
Oh, what's the thumbnail of that story? Or are you not going to tell me?
Yeah, I can tell you that. I've told it before. This was years and years ago. I had a dream with a song within a dream. And I woke up and I was like, well, let me just... and the dream was with us and David Bowie and a singer called Kylie Minogue. And so I sort of put the song down on tape and then sent it to him. And he said, this is not one of your best. And which is if you think about it, it's a very kind way of saying no. And to be fair to him, he was absolutely right.
Obviously, Music of Spheres is out. It's doing great. Did I read correctly? And I don't know how much you'll hold yourself to it. You're only doing 3 more records, and that's it?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Coldplay albums. Yeah.
Why did we decide that it was going to be 3 and done? And one of them's a musical, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Hey, thanks for doing your research work. Yeah, that just feels like the right thing. That's all I can tell you.
But if things are going well, you should do those first two and then really milk out that time for a while, just so it doesn't come to an end that quickly.
40 years.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, Music of the Spheres is obviously out now. Chris Martin, Coldplay on the road with her. June 1st, FedEx Field in D.C. June 4th and 5th, MetLife Stadium in New York. June 11th, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Chris Martin, I appreciate the time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you both so much, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have a great day.
You got it. Hey, tell your dad I'll be bicycling with him pretty soon.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Chris.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye.